Let's hear live from Toone ahead of the England Women's World Cup qualifier in Mallorca.
Obviously, external factors like the schedule, but what can you do as a player? And I'd imagine you might be learning a little bit more on how you adapt to that now that you've become such a regular England international.
Yeah, I think I've learned that I'm not 18 anymore, and that my body's been through a lot. It's played a lot of games. We've had tournaments, you know, every other summer. Loads of games this season for Manchester United for the first time, being in the Champions League. And yeah, I don't think we've ever played that many games in a season before. So I've definitely learned this time around that I have to look after my body much better than I have been doing over the previous years. Still thinking I'm that young spring chicken, but I know that recovery is massive now. I've got to make sure that I use my time wisely on my rest days to make sure that I'm, you know, getting myself prepared to give 100% when I do get out onto the pitch. But yeah, I've been doing so much on the recovery side of things, getting in ice baths, stretching, getting massages. I'm not a player who likes to be in the physio room a lot, and the physios don't like that, but you know, that's what you've got to do. I want to prolong my career as much as I can, and I think there was a massive lesson in this injury, and that was to make sure that I look after myself.
Yeah, and I can imagine it is frustrating when you are out for a period of time, but Sarina sort of joked to me when I spoke to her last week that you reminded her that you're a number 10 and you do still play football. Were you at any point, seriously though, like a little bit worried that because you were out for that period, obviously it is so competitive and people are playing in your position?
Yeah, of course. You're never guaranteed to get selected for England, no matter what your journey's been in an England shirt. And every time the squad's announced, you still worry that you might not make it. And especially for me, missing the past two camps, I knew that I had to make myself, you know, available for this selection. I had to make sure that I performed when I was on the pitch, to show that I am capable of coming back into the setup and giving my everything for the team. But yeah, I came to last camp to see Alessia and the girls, and I reminded Sarina that I'm a number 10 and I'll be ready for next camp. And yeah, she's picked me, which is nice. And yeah, I want to, you know, be here and give everything I can to help the girls win.
Just finally from me, I know you've spoken before about how you feel you play better when you're just enjoying your football and not worrying too much about the pressures and the stress. Have you had to remind yourself of that recently? Because like you say, you feel like you've got to almost prove yourself again.
Yeah, of course. I think when you've been out for so long, you probably start putting that pressure on yourself to make sure that you score and make sure that you get an assist and things like that, and show that you're back. But for me, I use that time wisely, physically, but also mentally as well. Making sure that my mindset was in a strong place coming back, not putting too much pressure on myself, understanding that I do play my best football when there's no pressure and I'm enjoying myself. And yeah, that's what I've tried to do. I know I've been out for a long time, so it was more about just being back out there with the girls and enjoying it, because like I said, when you're a footballer and the main thing gets taken away from you, it is difficult. But I made sure that I used the time wisely, and yeah, I feel like I'm in a really good place. Thank you.
Kit.
Hi, Ella. Nice to see you. Can you give us a sense of what it's like to go up against a Spain midfield? Because from the outside, it seems quite a challenge, but you've experienced it. So, yeah, what's it like?
Yeah, I've experienced it quite a few times now, and it's difficult. Spain love to be in possession of the ball, and sometimes that's quite frustrating. As players, we want to have as much of the ball as we can, but sometimes you've got to be patient. They're obviously, you know, very technical. They want to be on the ball. They want to make things happen. They're constantly moving. So you've just got to stay concentrated throughout the game. But I also think that they don't like coming up against an England midfield either. And we know what we're good at. And we also want to play football. We also want to be on the ball. And we also work hard every time we step out onto the pitch. So I think it's a really good battle all over the pitch, and especially in that midfield.